Hey guys, how's it going? Okay, so do you guys remember how Senator Tillis wanted to make it illegal, a felony, to actually stream music online? I didn't think he could actually do it, but it appears like he managed to Trojan horse this shit in the Omnibus bill somehow, which is pretty incredible, really. You gotta give it up for that. And this guy's getting paid pretty well by the media publishing companies, so I'd argue he succeeded in whatever he was trying to do here. But let's go through it real quick, because I thought it was pretty interesting. Starting by section 2319C, illicit digital transmission services. And this is important, this part right here. It explains the term what a digital transmission is, and that's a service that has the primary purpose of publicly performing works by digital transmission. And it goes into what publicly perform means and all that stuff. And I think most people kind of know if their work is intended for the public or not. So I think we can skip that. Alright, so let's go into what's actually prohibited under this act. It says, it shall be unlawful for a person to willfully and for purposes of commercial advantage or personal gain, or private financial gain, or offer or provide to the public a digital transmission service that is primarily designed or provided for the purpose of publicly performing works protected under Title VII by means of a digital transmission without the authority of the copyright owner or the law. 2. Has no commercially significant purpose or use other than to publicly perform works protected under Title VII by means of a digital transmission without the authority of the copyright owner or the law, or 3. Is intentionally marketed by or at the discretion of the person to promote its use in publicly performing works protected under Title VII, which means of a digital transmission without the authority of the copyright owner or the law. And it says for penalties, any person who violates subsection B shall be, in addition to any penalties provided for under Title VII or any other law, will be fined under this title, imprisoned not more than 3 years, or both. 2. Fined under this title, imprisoned not more than 5 years, or both, if A. The offense was committed in connection with one or more works being prepared for commercial public performance, and B. The person knew or should have known that the work was being prepared for commercial public performance. 3. Fined under this title, imprisoned not more than 10 years, or both, if the offense is a second or subsequent offense under this section or section 2319A. Now, notice how it says it's unlawful for a person to willfully stream for private financial gain copyrighted material. It doesn't specifically say you have to live stream the music, but it says you have to do a digital transmission, which includes live streams in its definition. This means music playing in the background. This means music that is playing in a video game. This means that you do not have to have the intent to stream copyrighted material, but that it must be done voluntarily. It does not have to be done knowingly. So according to the statute, you could unknowingly commit a felony if you allow any music to be played during your stream that is subject to copyright protections. I mean, which is pretty heinous. That is pretty disgusting behavior, and I would like to see how they intend to enforce this. If they do intend to enforce this, it will be up to the federal prosecutor that files the criminal complaint against you, because this is a federal crime. There is not a state crime like it in any of the 50 states that I'm aware of. If you get this charge filed against you, then you'll be looking at 3 to 10 years in prison, which again is pretty severe punishment. I would like to see them try to enforce this and deal with the inevitable backlash that results. As of right now, it appears music media corporations and senators made a power grab for potential profits by threatening anyone who communicates online with prison. I honestly want to see how in the hell this plays out, because it won't be good, and I think it won't be good for the music media corporations most of all, because I think the backlash for them is going to be pretty severe. Alright, so moving on. This other part I want to talk about, the United States Tibetan policy. Let's see if I can pull it up. Page 2623. There it is. Okay, yeah. Subtitle E, Tibetan Policy and Support Act of 2020. This is actually an amendment. It's not a new policy, but there's a lot of changes to the policy that I thought were pretty interesting. Let's see. Looking for policy communications right here. Alright, so These are all new parts. It inserted this paragraph, paragraph 2. It says the Secretary of State shall ensure, in accordance with this act, United States policy on Tibet, as coordinated by the United States Special Coordinator for Tibetan Issues, is communicated to all federal departments and agencies in contact with the government of the People's Republic of China. This means that the government must communicate with all government agencies involved in communication with China and keep those government agencies informed of any developments between Tibet and China. They also added this paragraph 3. It says, the steps taken by the United States government to promote human rights and distinct religious, cultural, linguistic, and historical identity of Tibetan people, including the right of the Tibetan people to select, educate, and venerate their religious beliefs in accordance with their established religious practice and system. And this correlates with another section. Moving on to section 10, it says the United States government must neither provide incentive for nor facilitate the involuntary or coerced relocation of Tibetan nomads from their traditional pasture lands into concentrated settlements. I think that's a reference to the Uyghurs and moving them to concentration camps. And this last part here, where is it? Yeah, okay. United States Assistance Part E, another new part. It says in general, the President is authorized to provide assistance to non-governmental agencies or organizations to support inclusive economic growth, resilience, global health, education, environmental stewardship, and cultural and historical preservation for Tibetan communities in Tibet in accordance with the principles specified in subsection D. In other words, the United States government is giving the President permission to sow political dissent in China by helping organizations adverse to the Chinese government. We know that Tibet does not think highly of the Chinese government. It doesn't like the Dalai Lama at all. So it's not being explicitly stated here, but that's what this means and what it will be used for when you read between the lines. Further in the bill, it states that the U.S. government will also encourage private industry in the U.S. to engage in commerce with Tibet, and that the U.S. government will establish a consulate in Tibet to monitor political, economic, and cultural developments in Tibet as well. So make of that what you will, but I think the writing is pretty clear of what it's actually trying to say. And feel free to let me know in the comments what you think about any of this. Thanks for listening, and have a good one. See ya.